Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
Oh my gosh, it's been so long.
It's been way too long.
Very, very long. We're back. It's Send It Mate Podcast. I'm Caleb.
Oh, I'm Couchy.
And there ain't no Josh, so we will explain why shortly. But it's nice to be back for season 8. Couchy, can you believe it? You've been involved in how many seasons now? I can't remember.
Oh, I can't remember. I think this is my third.
Something like that.
Feeling. Yeah, something like that. Third or fourth.
Either way, we're back. We've had an extended break. Sorry to everyone out there. You guys have been reaching out saying, when are you back? Constantly. So we do appreciate the love. We do appreciate it. But, you know, we've had to have a bit of an extended break this time around. Yeah, there's a lot been going on in life. And Shannon and I find ourselves in different states still. So that hasn't been resolved. But you're there permanently now, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, I've made the move up to Queensland, so saw the light and moved north.
Did you though? You've basically consigned yourself to a lifetime of ball sweat in Queensland.
Actually, it's freezing at the moment.
Really?
Yes.
What's your freezing?
Oh, I don't even know what the temp is, but it's jumper worthy if I haven't got the heater on.
Okay, that's saying something for Queensland, I guess. But
yeah,
I've got the hoodie on tonight. It is actually fresh down in Adelaide. We're keen to get back into it. This season is going to be interesting. We don't know how it's going to look, but we are back. We're getting one away. We're popping the season 8 cherry. And tonight we have a guest with us in place of Josh. And you've heard him on the podcast before. In fact, he is the hunting podcast Slut of Australia. Cody Gearon, how you going, man?
Welcome, Cody.
All right, boys, buddy. Pleasure to be on.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, man. It's look, we've got you on because we went up to your place and had a bit of a hunting trip. We'll unpack that in a bit. But it was a perfect timing to have you on the potty for the first episode of season 8, given we've just seen you and it's been a couple of weeks. How's the family going, man? How's everything going there?
Yeah, all good. The missus' foot's basically, she's out of the boot now, so she's managed to go back to work. And the kids are, they're doing good, going to preschool and stuff. And, I'm still running around chasing tractors and machinery and stuff from between here and Forbes. So, so there's still a bit going on, but it's slowly slowing down.
Fair enough, man. Well, she'll be able to give you a swift kick up the arse now, which I'm sure she'll be keen to do.
Yeah, I might
So
break
what-
it again. So we'll...
I just got that where you're going with it, Caleb. Way too soon.
I'm assuming that's how she hurt her foot in the first place, was giving him a kick. But anyway,
No, it's because he clenched.
oh, it's those buns of steels from hiking up hills.
Yeah, so you're like with your farm work there, Cody. You were saying you're heading to Forbes and that, like, that's not a small trip for you, is it?
It's about a 3-hour drive from my house in town.
Yeah, bugger.
So it's a bit. But to go to the property where you guys went hunting, that's about a 4-hour drive.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, okay. Greece.
Yeah, I mean, I did see the signs for Forbes on the way home from your place or your hunting properties, and yeah, I was like, far out. He's a fair way from home. So, look, man, it was an absolutely awesome trip. We will, as I said, get into that. We need to explain why Josh isn't here, because he was also a part of that trip, and obviously a big part of this podcast.
Well, he still is.
He still is.
Oh, yeah. He's going to leave that in limbo.
Nah, well,
We'll see. We'll see what happens with this season.
he is. Well, I'll announce it here. He's actually become a dad, so he good on him. He's got one away finally. He's become a dad, so he's at home on dad duties, and I've decided that I'm gonna be calling him Daddy from now on, because it gets under his skin something chronic. We've had many discussions about he gets the ick when he hears people in the bedroom calling each other, like, well, a lady calling her sexual partner daddy. So
It is 2024, man. Like, it could be a male calling
Well-
a guy daddy.
exactly right. Basically gets the ick when he hears anyone called daddy. So I've decided I'm going to be calling him daddy from now on.
Now, what I want from everyone listening right now is to jump on Instagram and message Josh and just say, "Hey, Daddy," and just flood him with messages.
Or find
If
this
I was
meme.
already planning to do that, actually.
Find this
You
meme.
have to do that again.
Hey, Daddy.
If I could play that to him every time he rings me, I'm just going to send it to him constantly. Or maybe we can play it as a sound effect every time we mention Josh.
Hey, Daddy.
How can we do that from this season? We keep it on there, and each time Josh is mentioned, regardless if he's on or not, we'll play it.
Welcome to Set It, Mate. I'm Caleb. I'm Couchy.
Hey, Daddy.
Anyway, I think that's meme worthy from you, Cody. Definitely, you got to bust out a meme. For anyone who's new to the
We'll
podcast,
have something up by tomorrow.
oh, perfect. mate. For anyone who's new to the potty, they would have seen Cody's work. Well, they might not have seen Cody's work, but he is renowned for memes, and he certainly gets into his work when it comes to some of the crazy stuff we've said, and illustrates that in pictorial form, which is perfect.
He's got a bit of a cult following, so I hear. Doing pretty well for himself.
Oh, I do pretty well in my spare time, yeah.
Nice work, mate. Well, before we get into the trip, as per tradition, we usually kick away with a joke. And Josh is usually the bearer of that mantle, the joke teller. But in this occasion, he's not here. So have you got anything, Couchy?
I've only a couple of short ones. So, one, how does a non-binary person kill someone?
Straight out of the gate. Rightio, what do you got?
How?
They/them.
Oh,
When I heard that one, that was good.
yeah, no, I like that. I like it. Go. You got another one or not? That's it.
Oh, I got one more.
Go on.
So, where do you take someone for a peekaboo accident? The ICU. And that's all I got. That's all I got for now, anyway. Let's not burn them all out.
Look, I've got one, and I'm just borrowing from Josh's playbook here, and I've Googled one. So, what's the difference between a genealogist and a gynecologist?
I don't know what.
A genealogist looks up the family tree. a gynecologist looks up the family bush. What an icebreaker to get us away. Cody, you got anything or not, mate? No pressure.
Yeah, I got one.
Fire
How's it
away.
go? Have you heard that porn stars and OnlyFans models are changing the names of their pussies to the Gaza Strip? Because it takes such a pounding that no child has a hope of crawling out of there alive.
Oh, Jesus. And you said my joke was bad. I love it, though.
Oh,
Good.
so good. Nice. Oh, well, we've got the sillies out a little bit, which is perfect. We'll play a little game a bit later on, maybe to wrap us up. So stay tuned for that one. But I think we'll get into it. So, Cody, you've been inviting us for quite a while now to come up and have a hunt with you, and you were kind enough to invite us again, and we locked it in this time. We said, let's get up there during the rut. And look, it's a fair journey for both Shannon and myself, but we were lucky enough to be able to tie it in with work this time. We both work for the same company now. That's a new development, but in different states. And Cody exists in between us, basically in the middle. So it kind of worked well. We timed a work trip and then extended that on to take a bit of annual leave and come and visit you, Cody. And I must say, mate, where you are situated is absolutely stunning and absolutely perfect hunting properties that you've got access to. So firstly, big thank you to you and your family for the hospitality. And look, we had a great time, mate. So thanks for that off the bat. It's what 13 and a half hours from where I live if you go straight there.
Well, mine was like 11 hours, just under. So a decent trek.
Yep. And I must say,
I'll do it again though. But it was a sort of a real picturesque sort of area. So it's sort of what you'd think if you want to go deer shooting. Deer hunting, really.
Yeah.
So
I must say where you are, Cody, it's surrounded by state forest where I would say it's probably some of the best I've seen. Like, it's not thick and overgrown. For anyone who's been to Vic extensively for hunting, it is thick as shit most of the places. But you get into the timber where you are and you can actually see, which is nice. And then obviously you've got some farming property around the timber, and it's a perfect spot for deer, man. So, I mean, Josh and I rolled in on the Wednesday, and after going up the wrong driveway and Cody promptly jumping on the blower and saying, what are you doing up the wrong driveway?
Well, I guess we both went down the wrong driveway because I did as well. Just the other side of the block.
Yeah, well.
So I ended up going to his uncle's instead of his. Yeah, I didn't make friends.
He had some words to me.
Yeah, did he? How did that go?
He goes, "Yeah, no, this fella walked up. He says he reckons I got a bed for him." I said, "I got no idea who the fuck he thinks he is," but I was getting ready to tell him to go fuck himself.
See, I led with I'm Cody's mate, just coming hunting for the weekend, and he could have steered me in the direction, but he gave me nothing. And it's just if I didn't know afterwards, I wouldn't have thought he knew. So it was sort of a bit weird how that conversation went, but it's how it happened, and it makes a good story.
There has been issues in the past in the area where people have used my name to sneak on the places.
Oh, okay.
So we're just mates with Cody, and it's like I sort of made the rule around everyone and said, if I haven't spoken to you beforehand about people coming, then they've got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, okay.
So in that
sense,
yeah. So in that instance, I got you guys the all clear, but obviously, wasn't obviously because he's like, why are you camping here? He didn't say anything about camping. It's so that was a bit of a miscommunication, but I think it all worked out well in the end. So it's about too much.
Oh, look, it was only because there was about 4 drop pins sent all at once, and Couchy just went with the last one instead of the first one. That was all good. So you were there the day after or the night of? I think you were there the night of. So
Yeah,
Josh
you guys rocked up.
Josh and I got there in the Arvo, and we ended up doing a bit of a day hunt on the first day just to scope out close to where we were actually staying. And that impressed us initially anyway, just headed out by ourselves, had a bit of a scout around. I can't remember if we told you this or not, Cody, but we came across a few pigs on that first afternoon. And I actually lined up to take a shot on one, and I passed it up because obviously it was day one. And I thought, do I want to shoot a pig right now and scare anything that's potentially in the area off? So I passed it up. As we will discover, that is my methodology for shooting large animals later on. But I now have a pattern and maybe a future superstition for being able to shoot decent deer. There's a little teaser. So yes, I did shoot something substantial. But yeah, man, that first afternoon we're looking around ourselves and we did a bit of glassing, and we're like, this is absolutely perfect here. Like, you've got an absolute spot. And that was just the first property we're actually staying on. That's before we saw all the other stuff, which was even better. So look, I passed up.
That's all that ground country. That's where I grew up. That's like I grew up walking through that stuff, and that's where I got that 13 pointer there. Yep. That's the first thing I ever shot was on that block.
Yep.
Okay, nice. That's why there's nothing left.
No, well, there was a 10 pointer getting around there that everyone else has seen it. You guys didn't seem to find. So
yeah, it's my luck.
Oh, look,
we seem to get hunting in places where it was ripe the week before, and then we rock up and it's like, where are they? And they're like, oh, I'm not sure where they're gone.
And you actually did have...
It stayed...
Yeah, you go.
It stayed, like, the roaring stayed good even after you left. Like, you guys left early Sunday. So I went out that morning with my family, and, like, we couldn't see anything. It was too foggy, but we were just sitting in the car listening to the stags roaring across the hills, and we even heard a fallow buck croaked as well. I was like, but, you know, we couldn't get eyes on them, but it still stayed bloody hot even after you fellas left.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah, well, perfect, man. I mean, the block we were staying on, I reckon I only heard one roaring, one red. And that wasn't on the first day. That would have been, I don't know, maybe day 2 or 3. So I was like, oh, there's something around. And there's sign, like there's rub trees and whatever up the top of the hill. So I thought, yeah, maybe there's something here that's promising. I saw more pigs, to be honest. Over the coming days, I saw another few. There was a time when I heard a bunch of them absolutely going off, and I thought I was going to get a mob of them run me over. They were that loud. But, yeah, it was pretty impressive, man, to see the countryside and pick my way through it and enjoy that. To be honest, it's been a fair while since we've actually been out for a hunt, so that was good. And then, Couchy rocked up that night, and, away we went. How good. Like, good setup, bit of a fire, and the 3 amigos are back in the same state.
It was pretty weird going hunting and chilling in a house. So not camping and roughing it. Like Cody was kind enough to sort of let us stay in the house there. So yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, well,
it felt different.
I was originally setting everyone up to go out camping about there, but then the old boys going like, look, the house is sitting down there. It's not being used. They may as well, buddy, have a bit of an extra comfort if they want to use it, rather than like the house is sort of sitting there doing nothing. So we took advantage, and like we got you guys and we got a couple of hunters over Easter weekend to stay down there and make the most of it before we sort of made other plans for the house. So we took advantage of it while we could.
Yeah, man, it was great. It was a great setup. Thank you for that. It was, look, a hot shower, I must say, was a nice thing. Yeah, it's better than the old swag, and then no shower for 5 days. So I did enjoy that. I can't remember. So did we all go out that second day in the morning? Pretty sure we did. On the Thursday?
Yes, we did, because we went up the hill. We didn't leave the property. We shot on that property. Well, we hunted on that property, so we all went out.
That's right. Josh decided to go across the road, and then you and I stayed on that property. Now, that first hill close by the house is an absolute bitch. And that morning, I sort of felt a little bit off that morning, and I'm like, okay, well, Couchy will beat me up a hill every day of the week, so I'm sort of lagging behind. I'm like, oh, I feel a bit off here. Got about
taking me up a little further than usual, so I was
a little further than usual, yeah. Like about halfway up, I'm like, I'm going to be sick here, and I yucked my guts up like on this hill, and I'm like, I don't think that's because I'm out of shape. I think I am actually coming down with something here. And for context, I've been with Josh since the Monday. So this is now Thursday morning. I've been with Josh since the Monday. We'd made our way over a couple of days across to New South Wales and just camped along the way. And you know, in a camp setting, the hygiene goes out the window a little bit. Like, you're not worried about washing your hands with soap and water before you start cooking. And, you know, I've spent many times in camp with Josh, and quite often he'll go take a piss, and then next thing he'll be handling raw meat and putting it on the barbecue. And I'm like, well, you know, surely that's getting cooked off. But I was coming down with something. I'm like, well, we've eaten the same thing and he's not sick. What's going on here? Is it the hygiene catching up? Do I not have the immunity that I used to? But yeah, I was starting to feel a bit that. I'm setting the scene here because I got to the top of the hill. You're already set up. I get to the top of the hill eventually. You're already set up glassing. Just like, oh, hey, man.
It was pretty funny. I'm like, oh, you're going to catch up eventually, and you'll be right. So you're not dead yet. It's not out of the ordinary for old Caleb to try and walk his tree trunk calves up a hill.
I got up there, but we pretty much split up straight away. Saw nothing really.
Nah, I think it was foggy at that point, and that's why I was sort of like, oh, we'll glass for a bit and sort of wait for, I don't know, the sun to burn off the fog a little bit. And then we realised we were facing where the sun's coming from, and that's probably not the smartest idea.
Not the smartest idea.
No.
So I did a bit more exploration on that property. Ran into some more pigs. Nothing I was going to take a shot at because we were chasing deer. But, yeah, Josh didn't come up with anything across the road either. So did our usual trick of everyone coming back to camp about, I don't know, 11 o'clock. So, and then it's the game of who's going to cook. And, yeah, I don't think we ended up having lunch. We bought a heap of food in town, like before we rocked up, but there's always this game of who's going to be the one to cook the meal. And then someone goes, well, I'm fucking hungry here, so we'll get some snacks out and share them around. And that doesn't come Why do we do it?
It happens all the time though. Like, it's just sort of gets delayed, and I don't know. I don't really care skipping a meal, so it really doesn't faze me too much. But I think it's you, Caleb, that struggle the most.
I need food for sure. Like, I can't. Yeah, I'm not. We always go whenever we go away camping. We have 2 meals a day. There's never breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's more like brunch and dinner.
Yeah,
and it's brunch and a late dinner generally, and especially when you're hunting as well, because you'll get up, you'll have a coffee, you'll get out there at Sparrow Fart, you haven't had breakfast, and then you're either home by 10 or if you get something, you might be out there till lunchtime, depending on how far away you go. So you got to be prepared on a hunting trip. If you're hunting first light and last light, your meals are going to be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
There's no getting around it.
Pretty much. So, yeah. So we did a lot of our cooking around the fire. We sort of, as much as we were staying inside the house, we sort of half set up in the garage with a bunch of our crap and then had a little fire going off to the side. And I had a gas cooker and a table with me, which is what we cooked on mostly. But Josh insists on cooking over a fire. And it just shits me to tears because I'm like, there's a gas cooker here. We can cook in 5 minutes rather than half an hour.
Yeah.
So.
Trying to be a real proper bushy.
Yeah. And it's either undercooked or burnt. It's never like right. No, Josh does a right with his steaks.
I mean, day 3, there was a pan left on the gas cooker overnight that we cooked sausages on. And he used that without washing it to cook the whatever we had the next day. Steak? Yeah. I reckon steak. He cooked steak in overnight sausage fat. Now, that pan was left in the shed, right, on the gas cooker. On the floor of that shed were rat droppings. So potentially that is the source of my upset stomach. Potentially. I'm not pointing the finger, Josh, if you're listening.
Wait, was your upset stomach the second day?
Yes, the Thursdays when it started.
The morning of.
I had the runs by Thursday night. And then during the course of Thursday night, the runs were like I was up every 2 hours pissing out my asshole. And that's why I didn't go out on the Friday
there was 2 toilets in there.
True that. That's why I didn't head out. That's why I didn't head out on the Friday morning.
Sort of trip. It was a weird trip. How like you were sort of up all night, so you didn't go hunting on that Friday morning. Friday morning?
Yep, Friday morning.
Yeah, Friday morning you didn't go hunting, so myself and Josh went out. That was to go to the block that we first got access to. So Cody was kind enough to have a chat to one of the neighbours. And this place
that's a cousin of mine.
A cousin? All right.
That's a cousin's block.
Okay. Well, this block is brilliant. So it's got a few sort of, I don't know, as Cody said, it reminds you of a little bit of high country Vic. So, which in a way it does. Like there's a few steep sort of hills, which wasn't too bad. Caleb didn't find himself down many steep hills. It was more the gentle climb on the outside.
Anything over 10 degrees, mate, just forget it. Like, it just annoys me.
But yeah, this place was nice. Like, and I think that was the first time we actually started hearing roaring when we were on this trip.
Well, that block actually has a nickname, doesn't it, Cody?
Yeah. You forgot it?
I've forgotten.
Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was nicknamed Jurassic
Come on,
Park,
man. Follow the bouncing ball.
It was. Yeah, got nicknamed Jurassic Park by one of the fellas who hunts the neighbouring property. He's like, they're going off in Jurassic Park. You got to get in there. I said, don't worry, I've set the boys in there. They'll find something. Don't you worry.
Well, that was the first morning heading there, which was plenty good sign. It was actually probably the better morning that I heard from the many times I went there. The most roaring. Me and Josh sort of split up. Josh went up the hill. I sort of went straight into the scrub. So there was a clearing on one side of this scrub. The scrub housed most of the sort of re-entrance and valleys and little creeks lines and stuff running through it. And then the grass line was just sort of the edge of a climb to the next sort of ridge line. Josh went up that way. I went straight into the scrub because my thoughts was red deer, they're going to be in the thick rather than out in the fields like Valley. I was wrong.
Clearly.
Yeah. I actually, that first morning, didn't see a thing. I was hearing a roar from about 250, 300 meters away, but it was too foggy to see. Oh, yeah. And that was a time when I borrowed Caleb's rifle because I had the 6.5 because my license hadn't cleared properly in Queensland at that point. So borrowed Caleb's rifle.
And then I got in your head.
Yeah, Cody got in the head. Borrowed Caleb's rifle, and then he ran it through to the morning, and I heard him wrong because I heard, there's well, I've got to remember it now. I think you said rounds in the magazine, and if you need more rounds, there's some in the ammo box. So me thinking we're on a hunting trip, the magazines stay in the rifle. Obviously not. I grab the rifle, don't even think about it. It's 4 a.m, so we cruise off. I get about 3 Ks into my walk.
Hang on, I'll stop you there.
And then go.
Safety never takes a holiday, mate.
Safety never takes a holiday, yes or no?
You
My bad.
I don't leave
for presuming.
loaded rifles around the place. Anyway, continue.
Well, I didn't. So I was sitting there walking with Caleb's 308. It's a nice rifle, by the way.
Thank you.
I adjusted the weight of it just in my hand because I didn't have a sling because Caleb broke it on his first morning, which he should have said so.
I
Didn't have a sling, so I'm just carrying it
dance
by-
about it, actually.
Yeah, you did. You can get into it after this. Carrying his rifle, and I just shifted the weight of the rifle, and my fingers went straight in the magazine well. And I'm like, fuck. Checked, because I couldn't believe my hands. And no magazine. I thought about, do I turn back? If I turn back, I have to get into the car, which is 3K away, drive 15 minutes to go back to the house, get the ammunition, come back, and like, fuck this. I just turned it into a recce. And that's the time I heard him roaring, which was heartbreaking. So I couldn't even put a stalk on, but I thought, yeah, I'll come back for him.
And that wasn't even your biggest.
Did you have
MD of the
ammo
trip.
with you at all?
Hey?
He
Did you have any ammo with you at all?
Nah, it was all back at the house.
So you
Like,
couldn't even treat it like a single shot?
Nah, I couldn't.
No.
So, because I thought, oh, your magazine's a 3-round magazine, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so I thought 3 rounds, that's enough. I'm not going to shoot more than one if I see one. And yeah, so I didn't think about taking any more rounds. But yeah, if I had a round and single shot it, I would have been fine.
Amateur hour. That wasn't even your biggest ND of the trip either, by the way. And what I did say to you in my state in bed as I was laying there having pissed out of my ass the entire night, it was like, 4:35 in the morning, something like that.
Something like that.
And I said to you, my magazine is in the ammo tin and there's a yellow box in there with more ammo if you need it. And somehow that didn't translate to you getting the magazine out of the ammo tin.
It was because of how you started the conversation. It was 4:30 in the morning. So,
look, you weren't switched on, and look, you have a habit of forgetting things at the best of the time. And look, there was another ND the next day which pissed me off even more, which was the keys incident, which we could get to, but we will get to that. But we should discuss our colleague Josh, Daddy. He did have some success on that morning when you guys were out, and it was foggy. Correct.
Yeah, it was heaps foggy that morning. Yeah.
So
he didn't shoot that till about 9, I think.
yeah, 9:30, I reckon.
So it was a few hours into it. Yeah.
So I mean, when I did eventually get out of bed, I just went and had a bit of a hike up the hill on the property that we were staying at. So when I returned around lunchtime, you blokes had already had meat hung up, and I'm like, oh, someone's shot something. And I thought, okay, this is all right. Oh, cool. I'm going to see a nice big head here. So I'm going to look at what was fucking lined up against the fence. It's this stupid fucking wonky donkey looking thing.
So this thing where like, I'm not sure, Cody, you probably had a better look at it and you probably know more about it, but it did look like an aged stag, but just had the one antler snapped in half. So
I will be
That's my
honest with you,
opinion.
that thing still had its milk teeth.
okay, all right.
Like it was a young stag. He'd probably only be
Yeah.
he'd probably only be a 3-year-old.
Okay, because he looked like he had a pretty big head on him. Like just
Yeah,
the
well,
head itself, not the rack.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously it's gonna look like he's got a big head when the antlers are little.
Yeah.
Look, we have to put it in context. It was foggy, and Josh, it informs me in conversations I've had with him afterwards that they were roaring everywhere in like 360 degrees directions to him, but he just couldn't see anything because of all the fog. He reckons there was 7 or 8 up there where he was.
The number grows each time you ask him, but
And supposedly...
But at that number, it's believable for that area.
For that
It
property,
is believable.
I'll believe it. But yeah, man, like he said he turned around and that thing was looking at him through the fog. He only saw it side on, saw the one good antler, split second, 40 meters away. I think he said it was. We can let him tell the story down the track, but yeah. Look, meat. At the end of the day, he took all the meat. How did How the fuck
I have
does
no
he
idea.
carry all that meat, man?
He carried what, the 4 legs, back straps, and meat, head, all in one hit. I guess it was a young deer. It must have been making sense now. So, but yeah, when he got back to the car, because I was there before him, he was hurting. So,
Oh yeah, I don't know. He just has this insane ability to carry heavy stuff on his back.
we call it retard strength.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
A dash of downs.
he's
He's got more than a dash.
got that chimp string.
His old man tripped.
Oh boy. No, he'll
love you, Josh.
to try and defend him to some degree. He does gym it every day for a couple of hours, so it's all upper body. To me, I don't know how he does it, because I'm sure his legs would snap in half sometimes, but he'll tell you don't need big
Daddy
legs.
Dorito.
Daddy Dorito. It writes itself. Daddy Dorito.
And there's the meme. Look at that. He's just created it already.
Oh, yes. Cody, make it happen. So good.
I reckon you could just go nuts before this episode releases. Just tease it out.
But yeah, no, good on him, Daddy Dorito. He got his meat for the trip, which was good. So he's feeding the family at the moment, which is perfect. It's what it's all about for us. Not just the trophy, but being able to share that meat around and feed your family. So yeah, I'd sort of recovered by that afternoon, which was nice. So you and I headed back, Cowgie. Go.
To defend him real quick for that stag, like looking at it, like the one time he had broken off, it had a brow, but the opposite one that was still sort of full, it had its brow snapped off. So looking at it at a passing glance in the fog, he reckoned it was a cull, and I could, looking at it, I could completely see why he thought it was a cull.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, I think it was just a young deer that got a little bit too cocky and got the absolute bloody shit bashed out of him and snapped his antlers.
You won't do that again.
Yeah, well, he's culled out now, so we won't have that problem again.
True. So yeah, we headed back out that afternoon, the same spot, and basically I did the loop Josh did, and you did the loop you did that morning.
No, I did an internal loop. So in the morning I went wide and around, then went through the bush.
Okay.
But yeah, when I was with you, I sort of ducked in the bush straight away.
Yep. I went where it was a bit more like, as much as there was a hill, and Josh said to me, "Oh no, it's an easy walk up that hill." No, it wasn't. But it was more clear ground than bush bashing it, and I didn't really feel like bush bashing. So yeah, I hiked up the hill, and I heard one red in that northwestern corner, and I'm like, "There's something up here, but it's not on the property." So I reckon in the morning I'll be back there. Sun went down. We went back to camp. We got merry. We did our thing. We cooked up some food. I was still shitting out my ass, like quite runnily.
How else do you shit?
Pissing out my ass, I mean, sorry. I was longing to do a solid poo. I'm not going to lie. Just come on, give me some firmness, please.
It's the things you appreciate, like you sort of forget to appreciate when you're feeling sick.
Yeah.
And
like,
you just want those normal things.
You're not surrounded by the normal creature comforts. Like there was no medicine, there was no Hydrolyte, there was no, like, I'm eating like shit, I'm drinking alcohol, I'm dehydrating myself even more. I
haven't drank a drop of water.
No water, all just coffee and alcohol, and essentially meat with no salad. We bought salad, but bloody hell, did we eat any of it? No.
No, we never do though.
You don't make friends with salad?
I think the only time we have a salad, or at least looks like salad, is when we have a wrap.
True. The wraps go well in camp, don't they? Like you can just bung whatever in it, and it's just a quick, easy meal. So for brekkie, we'll generally go, here's a good tip for people, by the way, just buy wraps, because you make up your bacon and eggs. We've got to a point now where we actually cut up the bacon, cook that, then dump all the eggs in, mix it all up. So it's like scrambled eggs and bacon all mixed. And then we
cheese.
Then we whack it in the wrap, chuck some shredded cheese on it, chuck some sriracha or barbecue sauce or whatever on there.
A leaf or two.
It's tasty.
It is good. And it's easy.
Me and the missus had that for tea the other night, actually.
There you go. You can have it for dinner as well. And then
breakfast isn't for the mornings.
Oh no. Quite
You
often
can have
at
it all
night,
time of the day.
quite often at night we'll cook up steak, chuck it in a wrap, put some pasta salad in there. Just whatever you feel like, chuck it in a wrap. Anyway.
We should have told this story at the end of the podcast because that would have segued quite well.
Oh well.
But anyway,
look, it's the first episode back for quite a while, mate.
It is.
We're not firing on all cylinders just yet. But anyway, let's get to the interesting part of the story. When I shot a giant fucking stag. So yeah, next morning, Josh decided, I've already shot one. I'm not going to go out. And we're like, Josh, what are you doing? This is unprecedented. You're not going out for a hunt. You're going to sleep in. And we're like, he's missing his missus. He's going to stay around and find reception and just talk to her like an absolute bitch. But whatever. Hey, I said we're going to get into him, so we're getting into him.
it's just the emoji central right there.
Yeah.
But it hasn't gotten any better.
Anyway, well, whatever, bro. So you and I went out again. I think we were up at like 4.
Yeah, so we were up and going early because we got out to the place at like 20 to 5. And I jumped out a little early to get to a point where I wanted to go. And then you took the car up to where you were going to head up to. We took your car at that point, and then I left my car back at the hut.
True. And we left.
And that was
camp.
was one thing that, yeah.
We left camp saying, all right, if either one of us get something and we can get some reception to Josh, we'll get him to bring your car up. Mm-hmm. Your keys are on the bedside.
Yes, or so we thought. Anyway, we.
So what was our plan?
I jumped out and it was still dark, so my plan was to just get up on top of this hill and sit down, wait for the sun to come up.
Yep.
Which I did. I got through there. There was some blackberries. There were blackberries there, eh?
Yep.
Cody. Yeah.
Everywhere.
So
Blackberries fucking everywhere, mate.
Yeah, man.
in the dark, trying to find my way through or around these blackberries was killing me. So it took a little longer than I wanted to, but I still got up to the top of this hill before dark. And I'm like, all right, I'll sit down and just sort of wait for the sun to come up. It'll give me a good opportunity just to chill. And then I think 30 seconds later, out of nowhere, I just get barked at by a stag behind me. He sounded like he was only 30, 40 meters away, which you can't have been too far because I was on the hill. And scared the absolute crap out of me. It was pitch black. Couldn't see anything. I'm just sitting there, obviously with the phone. And I don't think I've jumped that much in a while. So that was the only time I seen or heard of him though, because after the sun came up, I pretty much did another 5K walk through the bush, I stuck to my guns and tried to stick it out in the bush area and come up with nothing. I think I saw a doe at about 200 meters through the trees, no shot. I would have taken that shot, but I obviously couldn't. So, yeah, that's pretty much my hunt, really.
What was our plan when we parted ways in terms of rendezvousing?
So we parted ways, rendezvous at 10:30 at the car.
What was the plan?
That was the plan. So, So I finished my walk and get back to the car. And I was a little early. I was about 10 o'clock. I'm like, all right, well, I'll do another small little loop to waste half an hour. Nothing come of that either. Wasted half an hour. Got back to the car and I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to sit in the car and Caleb will get back when he gets back. So I ended up falling asleep in the car because I was tired and woke up at like 11:30, 11:30, quarter to 12. And I'm like, where the fuck's Caleb? And I started getting worried at this point because I'm like, there's no reception in this place. Like, there's barely a bar. You're lucky to have a bar somewhere. And I stepped out of the car and I'm like, do I go off and look for him? I'm like, well, if he comes back and I'm gone, he's going to think, where the fuck am I? So I'm like, I'll just give it a crack and I'll yell out to him because I'm like, oh, you should be able to maybe hear something. So I gave it a good yell.
Yeah.
Pause.
Any of you guys carrying like a Garmin or a GPS
No.
while you were here?
We have no
No.
way to communicate.
No. As in,
Other than
like our GPS has our phones, just the maps.
Yeah.
Which works out of service.
yeah.
Works out of service, but like if you're, I've got the Garmin inReach, so like I could send messages if I need to.
Oh, okay. No, we don't have any of those. No.
The only
That's,
reception was on the very top of hills, facing a certain
not
way.
my hills.
Yeah, well, you're not going to shoot anything right on top of the hill there.
No.
For the big convenient map, look what I got. Send.
But I think I did mention this afterwards or mid-trip or whatever. We do need to have at least like a handheld. Though if I'm on one side of the property, you're not going to be able to hear someone on the other side. But if you had some sort of line of sight-ish, like if I was on top of a hill, you'd be able to get someone. So that was probably a fail on our behalf. But I guess not knowing the property, that's sort of the risks you take.
What I will say is, Cody, you as host sent us in advance maps of the various properties and you drew very clearly where the boundaries were. And like it was clear as anything where we were allowed to go and where we weren't allowed to go. Like there was never any question at any time because you'd literally just screenshotted Google Maps and then drawn red lines and made some X's where things potentially were. And like for us looking at it and trying to interpret it, we're like, well, that's pretty easy to read. We know what fence lines we can cross, what landmarks there are. So everywhere we were, with or without reception, we knew where we were allowed to be or we weren't allowed to be. It was
golden.
Very easy, man. So props to you for that one for sure.
Yeah, well, I knew with that property there because the original deal I had with the owner there was like, because he used to be like a bit of a free-for-all and he used to let anyone on. But I think he learned his lesson. There was a little bit too many people that come on there in previous years. So he's got a little bit more strict. So I think there's like maybe 2 or 3 other hunters that have access as well as me. And the deal was like if I got people coming hunting there, they had to be with me.
Yep.
But due to how work and that was going, I knew I wasn't going to be able to go out with you guys like I was hoping to. So I thought I'll at least introduce you guys to at least Jess, who's the cousin there. Like you guys can meet her. Like they recognise the car, they recognise your faces, and they know like these are the guys who's allowed to be here. And I know people get real prancy about buddy jumping fences and stuff. So I just wanted to make sure when I'm not around, you guys couldn't get into any trouble on your own without knowing like where you can and can't be.
Yeah.
Because that's where people go like, oh, well, he said this fence line is like, well, it's easier just to draw a map and rather be like a little over precautious on where you can't go than like accidentally get you guys in the shit for accidentally being somewhere that you shouldn't be.
No, 100%. Like that covers your ass, and that also makes it easier for us that are visiting. It just makes things black and white. And this is like in our zone, that's not. And yeah, it's just there's nothing worse than sort of trying to interpret someone's borders, and you're like, is this the border, or have I got that next sort of paddock kind of thing, or stuff like that? And it sort of gets you on edge, and then you work out you end up like 1.5 km short of the border. You still could have went. But
yeah. You talk to like the property owner goes, oh yeah, no, I got the boundaries over that hill there. Then there's like a tree over in that corner there. You shouldn't go past that one. And it's like, well, there's like a couple of trees that look the same. You need to be a little bit more specific. So like, yeah, it's just easy. Take a screenshot, draw a map up, and then like, use a fine. So I did that with you guys, and then everyone that sort of came up that I couldn't sort of guide personally.
Yep.
So I sort of did that, and no one found themselves in the wrong spot at the wrong time, so it was all good.
Yeah, man. That was
appreciated.
Stay inside the red lines. So,
back to the story.
Yeah, back to the story. So that was your morning of absolute peanuts. And
I I ended up giving it a yell. Let's not get too far ahead of
Okay.
ourselves.
So what?
So
11:30. You're yelling. 'cause
yeah,
you
I
don't know where I am.
couldn't find you. I just gave it like a one good yell for Caleb. I'm like, just yelled out Caleb, and thinking I'm gonna have to do this a few times. I yelled it out, and then all I hear is like, "Oi!" down the hill. It's probably like 800 meters away, coming down the hill. I look over. I'm like, "Well, that was fucking easy."
Yeah. Well,
So I chilled and waited for you to come down, but I'll let you go through your little hunt.
yeah, pretty much, man. I was just thinking then though, when we lose Josh in the bush, we can just go
Hey, Daddy.
and just yell that really, really loud, and he'll just appear. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to part 1 of this episode with the Australian podcast slut, Cody Gearon.
Tune in next week for part 2.
Hey, Daddy.
Catcha.
Yeah.
G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.